Welcome back to the Fantasy Price Check. Today we're going to be talking about waiver wire sensation for the Philadelphia Eagles, Travis Fulgham. Is this guy the real deal? Is his production sustainable? That's what we're going to get into today. Before we get into Travis Fulgham, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss another price check like this one. Travis Fulgham now has 3 straight games with a touchdown. Since making his debut in Week 4, Travis Fulgham is 2nd in touchdowns, 1st in first downs, 4th in receptions, 4th in receiving yards, and 3rd in passer rating when targeted. Travis Fulgham made his debut for the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 4 against the San Francisco 49ers and came up with a huge touchdown to help the Eagles win that game. He then followed that performance up with 10 receptions for 152 yards and a touchdown against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He then extended that touchdown streak to 3 games, scoring a touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens and putting up a stat line of 10 targets, 6 receptions, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Check out this touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens. He has 2 defenders on him, and he jumps right over Marcus Peters to grab the football and score the touchdown.
Here were those comparisons coming out of college. Wentz off his back foot, floats it to the end zone, caught, touchdown, Fulgham!
So who is Travis Fulgham, and can you trust him in your fantasy lineups moving forward? Travis Fulgham is a 6'2", 215-pound wide receiver that was drafted in the 6th round of the 2019 NFL Draft by the Detroit Lions. In his first year with the Lions, he ended up on their practice squad and was waived by them this past August. He was then claimed by the Packers and then waived by them just 9 days later. The Eagles then claimed Travis Fulgham and they were able to put him on their practice squad. They then called him up to their active roster for their matchup against the 49ers. The Eagles are my team, and the first thing that I noticed about Travis Fulgham is his size. He is 6'2", 215 pounds, so he has prototypical wide receiver 1 size. My first thought when I saw Travis Fulgham is that this guy looks like Kenny Golladay, and it's close. Kenny Golladay is just 2 inches taller than Travis Fulgham, and they're the same weight. Here are a list of wide receivers that Travis Fulgham is close to in height and weight. There are just a handful of wide receivers that are at least 6'2" and 210 pounds. Travis Fulgham is the same size as guys like Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Devontae Parker, and Alshon Jeffrey, so his size is the first thing that stood out to me. I was also extremely impressed with his play on the field. He made some incredible catches against the 49ers, the Steelers, and the Ravens, and those are 3 very good defenses. He uses his size to outleap defenders and high point the football, and he gets physical with defenders when the ball's being thrown to him in tight windows. After watching just 3 games, I came away with the impression that the Eagles have found their replacement for Alshon Jeffrey and that Travis Fulgham is the solution for the Eagles at wide receiver moving forward. The opportunity for Travis Fulgham to continue producing is there. He should be the replacement for Alshon Jeffrey, while Jalen Reagor is the replacement for DeSean Jackson. I'm not expecting Alshon Jeffrey to be all that productive when he comes back from his foot injury either. Alshon Jeffrey's days as a deep threat and an every down receiver are over. If anything, he could take on a Larry Fitzgerald role as a possession receiver and a guy that could be used at the goal line. Even when Alshon Jeffrey and DeSean Jackson are back, I expect Travis Fulgham to remain the starter as the X receiver, while Jalen Reagor and DeSean Jackson take snaps as a Z receiver. I believe that Travis Fulgham will be the primary target for Carson Wentz moving forward. With Zach Ertz scheduled to miss the next 3 games, Travis Fulgham will continue to see a large target share. The chemistry between Carson Wentz and Travis Fulgham is also there. Carson Wentz's passer rating when targeting Travis Fulgham is 158.3. Carson Wentz's passer rating when targeting anyone else is 64.6. I next want to go over Travis Fulgham's football background and see if the Eagles came across a diamond in the rough when they picked him up. As mentioned before, Travis Fulgham was drafted in the 6th round of the 2019 NFL Draft by the Detroit Lions. He played his college football at a small school, Old Dominion, which is his Conference USA team, where he was a walk-on. And the reason Travis Fulgham wasn't recruited to play college football is because he only played 2 years of high school football. During his senior year, he led the Conference USA in receiving and had a senior year stat line of 63 receptions, 1,083 yards, and 9 touchdowns in 12 games. Let's turn to his combine performance. His 40 time was a 4.58. If he had a sub 4.5 time, I would certainly be more excited about him as a prospect. He has the same 40 time as guys like Tyler Boyd and Juju Smith-Schuster, so you could certainly get it done as a receiver with that type of speed. He also had a solid vertical jump of 36.5 inches, which is right on par with A.J. Brown and an inch below Terry McLaurin. He was also solid on the broad jump, beating out Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and N'Keal Harry. So just to recap his athletic profile, he has great size with good athleticism, but just average speed. Lastly, let's take a look at his scouting profile. Here are the pros to his game. He's great on breaks to create separation. He could build up speed to get downfield. He's a refined route runner. He could flip his hips to create separation. He's great on contested catches with body control and utilizing his size. His physicality allows him to beat press coverage, and he plays with strength and toughness. Now let's take a look at some of the cons to his game. He doesn't have short area quickness. He could lose on contested catches due to ball security. What he needs to do is work on ripping the ball away from defenders. He's not an elusive or powerful runner with the ball in his hands, and he can improve his hands at the line of scrimmage to eliminate jams from defensive backs. As an Eagles fan, I'm certainly happy with the potential for Travis Fulgham. You could see the positive traits from his scouting profile when you watch this guy play. He has the size and traits to be an alpha wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward. I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles have found their starting X wide receiver for the rest of this year and beyond. I don't see Alshon Jeffrey coming back and taking this kid's job away, especially if he continues to play at this level. He's developed a great rapport with Carson Wentz, drawing 23 targets in the last 2 games. I think the Eagles found a gem. There are lots of wide receivers that fall through the cracks. Adam Thielen comes to mind. He was undrafted. Doug Baldwin was undrafted. Victor Cruz was undrafted. TJ Husmanzada was a 7th round pick. Stevie Johnson was a 6th round pick. Marcus Colston was a 7th round pick. And last but not least, Antonio Brown was a 6th round pick. There are tons of examples of wide receivers that have been passed on in the draft that have gone on to be fantasy superstars. Is Travis Fulgham going to be the next guy on that list? Time will tell if he's going to be a fantasy superstar or a guy that fades into fantasy irrelevance. I'm counting on Travis Fulgham to be a legit wide receiver for Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles for the rest of this year and moving forward. Travis Fulgham is underpriced. After just 3 games, I already consider him a wide receiver 3 with upside. Guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you missed our last price check on Chase Claypool, I'm going to be throwing up his price check right over there, so be sure to check that out. And don't forget to subscribe below. I'll see you guys on the next one.